Hey guys, how are you doing? I thought of doing a Python tutorial as my next video, and we're just gonna make a game with the Pygame module, and it's just gonna be a side scroller type of thing, I guess, where you're just dodging enemies. So first of all, you need to have Python installed. If you don't have Python installed, then just search it up and go through all the steps to download it. You want to download like the latest, or at least the most stable version of Python, like the latest stable version, at least, I guess. I mean, you could probably use the older ones. I don't know what Pygame would is still compatible with or not. But yeah. And if once you have Python installed, then you want to do pip install Pygame in your terminal, and that should install Pygame for you. If that doesn't work, then you want to try like pip3, or Python 3, or I'm pretty sure Python also will work. But if none of those work, then you probably need to add Python to your environment variables. There's a good video on that from Tech with Tim. I'll probably put a card in the top right corner. So yeah, so you just want to do pip install pygame. I already have it installed, otherwise it would do something more on my screen. But yeah, so you want to import pygame. Once you have pygame imported, pygame.init, because you need to initialize it. And then so you have the module imported, you have it initialized. Then you need to actually make a screen. So I'm gonna do the width and height. So I'm gonna make two variables, one width and one height. And in Python, uh, all like all cap characters are usually just constants, so you probably won't be changing them. So we're gonna do Pygame, or I should probably not use Git Copilot, but yeah. So you want to make another window. So win equals Pygame dot display dot set mode, and then this will take in a tuple of the width and height. So I'm gonna insert width and height. Then we need to set a caption. So pygame.display. I mean, you don't need to set a caption, but if you want to set a caption, I'm just gonna call it dodge game, I guess. I don't really know what to call it. Once you have that done, I believe we need to make the while loop. And a while loop, as long as its statement is true, so say we can just put true for now, but as long as whatever comes after while is true, so you could put um, width equal to 900, uh, if I spelled that correctly. And as long as whatever statement you put in here is true, it would work. So you could do like width equal to 900 and height equal to 500, and that'll be true. But yeah, but actually, I'm gonna make a run variable. So running equals true, and while running is true, then for event in pygame.event.get, this will just get all the events, and for every single event, it's gonna get what that event is, and let you use it. So if the event.type is equal to pygame.quit, that'll be the red X in the top right corner. For the actual Pygame, like whatever was executed for the Pygame screen, then we'll do running equals false and break. And I'm probably also going to do sys.exit. And whatever's indented after the while loop directly, so this for loop, for instance, that's inside the while loop. And then after that, uh, you go up left to the indent, that's the for loop. And then for the break over here, you just go up until you reach something that's one past that thing, the indent. So you're just going in, you're just nesting all of it. So if then we do all this. And then you could also do else statements. You could also do elif statements. We should go over here. And yeah, elif would be, you need to actually have like event dot type equal to all that. So yeah, okay. I'm also gonna actually fill the screen in. This if statement is just to close the app, and once it's closed, it'll like do all the breaking and everything. Alright, so then we need to actually fill the thing. So pygame.fill, or I think screen.fill. It's something like that. I'll just do it white for now. Okay. I'll probably do it. You could also do pygame.color. So I'll do pygame.color dark slate gray. That's the color I really like. And let's see if that works. If it doesn't, then we know something's wrong. Pygame dot, or no, I think it's win.fill. There we go. Win.screen. I don't really know. I haven't done Python in a while. Win.fill, something like this. It's been a while since I've done this. Oh, right. I know I'm doing it correctly. You need to update it. Right. I'm sorry, excuse me. But yeah, so Python.display to update. I'm also gonna do a clock. Clock equals Python o'clock. And what the clock does, it basically sets a frame rate. So FPS equals 60, and that it'll just forever run this at this frame rate. Otherwise, depending on different computers, it'll run at different speeds. It'll be slower or faster depending on like your FPS and however fast your computer is, or however like beefy your computer is, as I like to say. Alright, so there you go. You have your deep slate gray. So now I'm actually going to increase this. So I think 1200 by 900 will be good. By 600, I'll do that. I want it to be lengthy but not too high. Okay. So next let's make the player. So let's do a class for that. So class player, and we need to initialize it. Whenever we're initializing, we'll have that self, and do that. And for this initialization, we're gonna need, what are we gonna need for the player? We're gonna need the coordinates. So x, y. We're gonna need we're just gonna have a radius for it. Radius and color. And we're just gonna make a bunch of it self dot. We're just gonna do like self dot x equals x, self dot y equals y, self dot radius equals radius, self dot color equals color. And this is just gonna be a circle. So player circle, um, yeah, circle. It's just a circle. Right. So then let's go ahead and draw it. So define draw self. I think that's all we need. I don't think we need the win. So pygame dot draw dot circle. Oh, right. Okay. So I'm actually gonna change all the win to screen. There we go. So screen.fill, screen equals trying to display to someone. Yeah. So I'm gonna do self and then screen. Pygame.draw.circle is green, and then we need to give it a color, self.color, and then self.x, self.y, and then you need to give it this radius. Okay, and I think that's all we need to do for the drawing. And then we need to do we need to define the movement. Um, Actually gonna do move left self uh, self and then amount. So self dot x minus equals amount. Self dot y or no, yeah, or no. We need to do self dot y because you want to move it up and down, right? Move up. And how the grid works is you have the top left corner is 0, 0, and then it's plus say 100 and then plus 100 like that. So you're going right and down. So y and then x. So y minus equals the amount to move up, and then find move down self amount uh, self dot y plus equals amount. Okay, and I think that's all we need to do for the player. And now we just need to actually give the player. So uh, player equals player, and we're calling the initialization, right? So I'm gonna do for the width. So I mean for the x, I'm gonna do say about 50, and no, I'll do 100, and then for the height divided by 2. I'm gonna do integer division. So you can do division, multiplication. You can do a exponent, but we're gonna do an integer division. This will just get rid of all the decimals, so it'll be a clean number. So what else do we need? We need the x and the y, and the self is already given because that's just like the player thing. The self is already given. We just need to do the x, y, radius, and color. The radius, we'll probably do a 10 radius, so it'll be 20 diameter, 20 pixel diameter, and Pygame.color equals white. Yeah, that works. So yeah, that'll be the player, and then we just need to draw the player. Player dot draw, and we'll get it in the screen because yeah, okay. And let's see if that works. So we're just drawing the player now, and it's drawn. I'm actually gonna change the radius to 20. Let's see if that's better. Yeah, there we go. I like that a lot more. Okay, and now we need to do the player movement. So if event.type equal to pygame.key down, so a key has been pressed. If event.key equal to pygame.key up, then player.move up will do 10 pixels each time. If event.key equal to pygame.key down, then player.move down 10. And in Python, capitalization really matters. It's really important to make sure your capitalization is always correct. So uh, just make sure quit, key down, all that. All the capitalization is the same throughout. So yeah, and let's see if that works. So up. So you have to spam the keys for it to go up. So let's see. Well, we need to figure out how to make it hold if it's held down. So let's actually search it up. Um, how to Pygame hold key. Yeah, okay. So instead of doing all this, keys equals pygame.key.get pressed. If keys, so if keys pygame.k up. So that means up key is in one of the keys that's being pressed. Then player dot move up 5. and then vice versa. If keys pygame dot key down, then player dot move down 5. Alright, so this should work a lot better. This will actually make sure the keys are being held. So if I hold down the up, down, and I'd say that's actually a pretty good speed. So now we have this problem where the player can just go off the screen. So we need to fix that. So that means we need the boundary checking. So if if we're moving down, then we need to make sure the y value isn't past the height. So if self dot y y plus self dot radius, because we want to add the radius to it. No, yeah, if so self dot y plus self dot radius uh, greater than, or no, less than height. Yeah, sorry, I'm being really stupid right now. Then we can just copy this thing and paste it over here, and we'll just move that, get rid of that. Right, and then we need to do self dot y minus self dot radius, and then greater than 0. Then we're gonna move them up, right? Okay, so that seems good. So let's see if that works, and it works for up, down, it works. Right? So that works out. So this is all the code we have, 51 lines of code, and we have a player moving around. I'm actually just gonna do that to group that together. And let's actually do this. Event handling coding. Okay. Getting pressed keys, and draw objects, update display, and main loop, clear circle, setup, and imports. Okay, so we have everything done. Draw player, move down, and move up. And this is probably an excessive amount of comments, because this already, the name of this already tells you that it's moving up, but I like putting down comments when I like putting a lot of comments instead if I'm gonna put any, and constructor. Okay, so we have everything done. Now we just need to add enemies. So for the enemies, we probably want plenty of them on the screen, and let's add 5 for now. So we're gonna have enemies equals 3. All right, and then for I in, or no, we're gonna do, let's create the enemy. Let's create the enemy class first. So enemy circle, and we'll do class enemy. So define the initialization, the constructor method, self, and let's pass for now. So we're gonna have to add the x and y coordinates. X and y. No, we don't need to add the y because it's gonna be a random number. And we need the radius and the color. So let's go ahead and import random. So we're down here to the enemy, and let's do self.x equals x, self.y equals random.rand int 0 and height. And then self dot radius equals radius, self dot color equals color. Okay, so then we need to do the draw. And actually we need to do the define move, or no, let's do update. Define update self and self dot x minus equals, let's do 10. Right. So what else do we need now? We need to do collisions, but for that we'll just do it over here. We'll do it. We'll do all the collision and all that over here in the main loop. So what do we need now? I think we just need to add collision. Let's just make sure the enemies are working though. Or no, we need that. We need to do this. Oh yeah, let's draw the enemies. So create, or no, let's actually do it up here. Let's initially create the enemies up here. So, yeah, enemy with enemy. And then what do we need? We need the self. Self is already given. We need the x. So we'll do with. If I can type, then we need 20 for the radius. Let's do a bit bigger. 30 for the radius, and color Pygame dot color red. For I in range. Let's do 10 enemies for now. Yeah. Alright, so that's all the enemies, and all this does, this is a for loop, and in the for loop it just iterates through it, and for every single iteration, it'll add this to this list. So we just need to, or we also need to draw them. So define draw self and screen. Pygame.draw.circle screen self.color self.x self.y and self.radius. Right, and we actually need to draw the enemy too. So for enemy in enemies, let me exit out of this. I'll wide open that. I must have pressed something. For enemy and enemies, if I can talk, enemy dot draw and enemy dot update. Screen, right? I need to put the screen here. Because missing one required position on the screen and 175. Yeah. Okay. So that is a lot of enemies. And yeah, okay. So enemy dot draw screen, and actually I think I'm gonna make it 25 as the radius. 30 is a bit too excessive, but 25, and speed is gonna be let's do that 8. 8 is a good middle ground. Actually, let's do self dot speed equals speed self dot speed. Probably should do the same for the player. Instead of doing this amount, instead let's do speed. Speed self dot speed equals, what did we put in over here? 5. Or no. Speed, we'll pass in 5 to the player. So self dot speed. And when you make the player, you need to pass in 5, and over here instead of passing in 5, we'll pass in nothing. All right. I think, well, let me just test the code, make sure that works. Yeah, okay, it doesn't work. I need to pass in speed over here too. Or, not speed, 8. There we go. Now that should work. Yeah, that works. Alright, and this is making all these lines because this, the enemy, it's past the screen, and for some reason Pygame just glitches out if that happens. So every time the player goes off, we need to delete it. Okay, so for enemy and enemies, enemy.update, enemy.drawScreen, and if enemy dot let's do x less than 0, enemies dot remove enemy, and then enemies dot append, we need to make a new enemy in its place with 25 Python color and red. Um, let's do random.randint 5 and 10, and we'll actually do the same up here. Uh, random.randint 5, 10. So that way it'll be a lot more variation for the players, for the enemies. Alright, so I think that's good. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. Okay. I think it's deleting it a bit too late. So as soon as it's so enemies dot remove enemy if enemy dot x uh, minus enemy dot radius. Let's do that. I think that'll solve that little bug issue. Yeah, there we go. It just deletes it off the screen. And we actually need to do uh, y for the y value over here. Randit 0 plus radius and height minus radius. There we go. And that'll stop it from clipping at the top. So let's see, and it shouldn't clip on the top. Okay. Right. That seems good. So now we have all this done. Now we need to add collisions. Once you have collisions in, that's basically a game complete. So for that, we're actually going to need to do some math. If you've been to at least middle school, probably at least 6th or 7th grade, you probably know the distance formula by now. So random math, actually, let's do math and random. Okay, so we need to do the distance formula. So for that, I'm actually going to make a function. So define distance formula. It takes in x1, x2, y1, and y2. So return math dot square root. So the distance formula is the square root of I think yeah, x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1. So x2 minus x1 to the power of 2 plus y2 minus y1, the power of that, squared, I mean. So there's your distance formula, and yeah, just returns that. Or let's do get distance. So we need to do this. Enemy.drawScreen for enemy in. Okay, so uh, collision detection and enemy off screen. There we go. So if so distance equals get distance player dot x enemy dot x player dot y enemy dot y. This GitHub Copilot is really helping out. So if distance is less than player dot radius plus enemy dot radius, so they're touching, then running equals false and break. Now you don't actually need to break this. You could also you could also probably add two if statements. One over here for all this code, for the main code, for the game running, and then another for like game over, and then when you get a mouse click or something, then it restarts the game and everything. But that's a bit too much. I we can keep this under 100 lines, without all that code. But yeah, so this is. Oh, we also need to add scores, right? So we need the player score. So let's actually add the score in two. So score and then self.score. Self.score equals score. I almost got rid of all that. Good thing Control Z is the thing. Okay, so now we need to actually implement the scoring. So if enemy, not enemy radius, uh, do you want the enemy to, do you want the player to eat the enemies, or? Yeah, we want the enemies to go off screen. Yeah, let's do that. So, uh, player dot score plus equals 1. Let's do 5 to make it more retroistic, I guess. I don't know why I said retroistic, but yeah, to make it a bit more retro, because they usually had like +5 or +10 or something. And then we actually show the score on the screen. So we can do that on the top right corner of the screen. So let's do that. So we need to actually do pygame.font that in it. And let's make the font right here. Font equals pygame dot font dot sys font Arial, and let's do 30. Yeah, that works. So once you have this font, we need to make the text. So down here, we need to let's actually draw the text on top of everything, so you can see it. So draw score, score text equals font dot render f string. So score player dot score, and I think this is anti-aliasing. Yeah, anti-alias. That'll actually clean up the text. So yeah, we do. Yes, we do want that. Pygame dot color white. So, and then we need to blit or draw onto the screen. So screen.blit score text width divided by 2, and do interdivision, and then score text.get width. Need to minus it from that. Um, top left, or no, we want this actually width. So width minus score text.get width. So it's going to be right over here in this top right corner. I think that'll work. And then what else do we need? Rectifier. I don't think we need that. Okay. Let's see how well this does. Oh, we need to give the score to the player. I keep forgetting that. With, oh, right. And then 0. So X and then Y, 0. Oh my god, I keep doing Control S and then X or something. And there we go. We have our score over here. And yeah, we lost the game. Alright. And I actually kind of want to make this bigger. So we're gonna make the font size 60. Let's make it a lot bigger. Now we need to dodge everything. Alright, so we have this, and and our score is actually doing pretty good. And you can see that the enemies are underneath the score, which I like a bit. And also you can change the font size. I mean, you can change the font. How to do that? You can even add custom fonts. So if you search up a font online, uh, you can download a font, and then when you download it, you just import it into over here. You just add it into your file, um, and then you need to. And well, if you have a font in here, say uh, uh, font dot uh, what's there's a special tag or whatever it's called for a font. Uh, let's add a Minecraft font. Or, so if you search up Minecraft, I think it'll show up something up. Yeah, yeah. There. This we could do. I like this one. Let's do that. We can download this. Yeah, it's a TTF. Download. If we download this, make sure it's safe. So if we export, um, oh, not export, extract. Then get this regular one, and let me just move it over here. Okay, just get rid of all this. Okay, it's over here. Then you can just do uh, Minecraft or minecrafter.reg.tdf. And if this gives you an error, it's probably because your command line, whatever you're using, if it's not to the right, if it's not the right thing, like it needs to be in your folder. So Flash Game Tutorial, it's in that folder. So if I did cd and then backspace and I'm in the back and I'm in the Python folder one behind, and if I try to run this, it's gonna give me an error for that, or at least it's not gonna work. Yeah, it doesn't recognize it. But if I do cd dodge game uh, tutorial, then I'm in this and I can just do that. And what? It's not working. Actually, I don't know why that isn't working. It should be working. Font. I think it needs to be a font. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Now it's working. So we can do, instead, let's do 40, and let's increase the the y by 10, and minus 10. So if you go over here, yeah. So it's gonna bit 10, plus 10, 10. There we go. Or minus 10. There we go. So yeah, now your score works. Let's actually test the game. So now I have a different font, and it's a custom font actually. So yeah. All right, that is a complete game, I'd say. You could obviously add a lot more, like different enemies, more movement types, and all that. So yeah, have fun with this. You can actually change this up a lot. This is just like a basic overview, like if statements, for loops, while loops, and functions, and also a little bit of classes. Like I haven't gone enough over classes. Classes are actually a lot more advanced. You could do a lot more with them. But yeah, that's the basics. Is also like a basic Pygame tutorial. And yeah, so good luck. Keep learning Python, and I'll probably do a lot more tutorials over the like in the next months or so. See you guys.